Our Highline Voices, 106.5 KQWZ LPFM.
Connecting Highline and our region.
History, cultural heritage, art, performances, contemporary pop culture.
We collect, preserve, and tell the stories of the Highline region and its people.
We want to embrace our differences and similarities.
We want to extend our mission outside the walls of the museum. Our Highline Voices, 106.5 KQWZ LPFM.
Hi everyone, this is Nancy. I'm director of the Highline Heritage Museum, and welcome back. Today we got a beautiful, bright, special guest. And I do say special to almost everyone, and only because to me everyone's special. Everyone has their own unique light, and I would like for people to get exposed to that light. So why are we doing this work? We're doing it so we can provide more accessibility to people who are not able to come to the museum, or people who would like to just be the stories to be told outside of the museum, and it just being able to connect to each other better. And so we do believe in inclusion and accessibility, and so that's part of it. And we're just excited to have our guest today. And so I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're going to dive into the questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
My name is Olayinka Ola. I am the owner and the designer at Ayo Collections here in Seattle. And it is an honor to be on this show. Thank you very much for giving me the privilege.
Thank you for allowing us to share your voice and share your story. Tell us a little bit about who are you? I mean, I just met you recently, but I just want to know who are you, and then hear about your story, and then just what makes you you.
Yes, well, thank you for that question. I am a fashion designer and here in Seattle, and I've been designing clothes under my own brand called Ayo Collections since 2016. And I got my bachelor's in fashion design from Otis College in Los Angeles, 2006. So that's been a while. I love what I do, and I've found passion in dressing people and making them feel more confident in their choice of style.
Nice. So, when I met you, it was during an event that we hosted here at the museum with the International Rescue Committee, and you presented this beautiful fashion show. I apologize in advance if I'm not using the right terminology here. So just bear with me on that one. You had your fashion show, and it was just a beautiful representation of your designs, but also the power of being a woman. I mean, we were gathering together to celebrate Women's History Month, and it was right on the Women's International Day, and that was very special. Just co-sharing the space with so many amazing women in that day, from poetry to the youth to so many people. And so, fashion show, what does that mean? And then fashion designer, what does that mean too? I mean, I have a very basic knowledge that a fashion designer is just you design your own creations. But what is the drive or the fire behind that? What is it? What makes your designs different from just doing like a regular t-shirts, for example?
Yes. So with my designs, of course, as you asked, what do we derive from being on the runway? Let's put it that way, to have the fashion show. So my collection, first of all, if I can give you a basic background on the name Ayo.
Mm-hmm.
That I chose. It's I'm a native of Nigeria, and the name Ayo means joy in the Nigerian language, specifically Yoruba language. And being a fashion designer, I'm here to bring joy into people's life through clothing. It's just I bring out people's confidence and their choice of style by dressing them up. They feel more confident when they wear my clothes, and coming onto the runway is just a celebration of me showing it to the world, because once we have those shows, we show it, it's also spread globally so others can see. That's why we have the fashion shows. People love to see fashion shows, and so just celebrating the culture through the name and also the fabrics we use. My fabrics are brought from Africa, some from Asia too, and just my designs just show a part of who I am as a proud African girl in in Seattle. And so we use the African fabrics and Western fabrics, but put it into a Western silhouette, into a look, whereby is more comfortable for um, our society of what we wear. Like I'm wearing a jacket, but it's been customized to look like what an African lady will wear. So those are things, elements that I put into my designs and put on the runway, and it shines and speaks for itself. But the foundation of it is joy. We want everyone who wears a piece of my collection to be happy, confident, and bold.
Yeah, I think that you tap into so many different areas. I mean, joy right away. The moment you say that word, like, ah, I feel like smiling. And
Yes.
then cultural identity, it being to be able to express that through your work, through your art, through the different areas that you're working on. I think is so crucial and basic of all of us to somehow express that what makes us as us, and you've been proud of it, and then carry on, and cultivating those values to the next generation. It is okay,
Yes. Mhm.
we are pushed under a lot of bad stereotypes that almost like we might not have that much permission to express a cultural identity. And
Yes.
so, not everyone will agree with me on that statement, but to me, it feels like at times it's almost like we had to push it a little bit harder to say, no,
Yeah.
this is my identity. This is what makes me me.
Mhm.
And then infuse that with everyday life. And so in
Yeah.
your case, it's not everyday life. In your case, it is like a really beautiful piece of art. To me, I see it as an art. It's an expression of you on your designs.
Yes.
And so you tap it into an emotion which is joy, proud, and cultural identity, and then you tap it into empowering women and empowering anyone who's wearing your clothes
Yes.
to feel confident and to share those energies. And so I love that. Um,
Yeah.
I know that um, when I we are Highline, and so obviously we are not Seattle. We're more of a Highline area, and so one of the reasons why I invited you was because you work here in the museum, and then um, you also representing a big section of the Puget Sound area, because I know you live really in the north too.
North,
And
yes.
so I think your work is not just Seattle based. I think it's
Yes.
Puget Sound area and region, and that's why one of the reasons why I also like,
Mhm.
no, come over here and share your story.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about either your work or cool experiences that you have had, or anything that you would like to share about the journey, this magical journey that you're in.
Yes, I recently just came back from New York last month, which is February. We had New York Fashion Week, which was really wonderful. And the theme of my design for that fashion show was just to celebrate, again, the culture through embroidery. So, embroidery is also a form of art done onto clothes, just to express any sort of motif or any look. And so I did that and highlighted it with crystals, because I love crystals. Women love diamonds, things that shine, right? So that was a very successful show that I had of recent. I do custom made clothes. That's what I do on a daily basis for my clients. I work for myself. And I take in, clients almost every other day to work on weddings. It's wedding season, so I do work on weddings, wedding dresses, prom dresses, men's groom's jacket, men's jacket. So it's fun for me. I always say to people, um, it doesn't feel so much like work than a passion. It's more passionate to me what I do. It doesn't feel like work because I come in every morning. I look forward to coming into my work studio, and each day I'm very creative at what I do. It's all about creativity. It's all about using, you know, um your your mind to create something amazing for someone. The clients come in, they kind of know what they want, some don't. And my job is just to guide them with, throughout the whole process. So taking their ideas and turning it into reality. That's really what I do. It's so much fun for me. I love it. It keeps me busy, of course. But again, passion really drives me because at the end of the process, when the client wears their garment in front of a mirror, I'm watching their expression, right? And you can see joy in them. I've had brides who try on their dresses and we all cry, right?
Mm.
Because they see themselves in a garment that they normally haven't ever worn or tried out before, and reality hits in, and so we all share the happy tear, which is just out of it all, that's just very satisfying to me. It's more satisfying than the form of payment that I get from it, because I've impacted someone's life in a positive way. I've shared joy to them, and I'm also part of their special day, which will last forever. So those are things that really drive me into what I do, and I look forward to continuously doing this every day till I retire. I don't know when. But that's pretty much in a nutshell what I do every day, and it keeps going on and on.
No, I can imagine the creativity, like you said, is like always creating something, and then the surprise factor, like the expectations and the just the rush of getting something beautiful and then give it to a person who will appreciate it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that is beautiful.
Mm.
Um, I do see it. It might be wrong for me to say it, but I do see it as a art, like
Yeah,
you
it
create an
is.
art, and because what is art? I know it's a very interesting question. Everyone will come up with their own different definitions of
Yes.
that. But in my case, I would think it is a representation of somebody's work,
Mhm.
creativity, and then it's just expression through whatever format. Could be textile, could be clay, it could be painting, could be writing, could be music. And the end of the day, it's just an expression of something.
Yeah.
And when you did your show here at the museum, I was so happy to see the girls just wearing your clothes and right away just taking pride of it.
Yes.
Um, and you said it right. You do have that fusion of this culture with African culture, and it is refreshing. It's refreshing to be able to find balance. There's no, as an immigrant myself,
Mhm.
I'm always, like, hey, I'm Mexican, but I live in the United States. And then I'm already kind of acclimated to this culture and system, but I'm still myself. And then,
Yes.
so how do we bring that balance between, yes, I want to express myself, but at the same time, I'm, I'm already been living more in this country than in Mexico. And
Mhm.
so as you continue your work, also saw your daughter on that day on the run show. I'm sure that she just adores not
Yeah.
you as a mom, but also gets inspired and admires you as a woman. And I hope that she gets excited to also think about the open opportunities that will be happening in front of her because she knows it's possible.
Yes.
And so one of those possible activities that just took place is going to New York, and I know that's a big deal. That is a huge
Yes,
deal.
it is.
Fashion show. Can you explain a little bit to everyone who doesn't understand what that is? What is a fashion show in New York?
A fashion show in New York actually is pretty much the height of any designer showcasing their work, especially on a big platform, on a platform that is recognized. The pictures were in the Getty Images. That's superb. I ended up on the billboard in Times Square.
Wow.
So that was really, as someone said to me, she said, well, this is the height of being a fashion designer, ending up on a billboard. It really is special. It's very special. Um, Not every designer is privileged to go to New York to showcase. It is expensive, but it's worth it, right? It's expensive, it's worth it. It's a form of advertising who we are as designers. Um, Believe it or not, we've gotten a lot of eyes to see it rather than just being in your own work studio and doing what you do and posting online. But this is just having, you know, different people come in all over the world to see this. Um, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. And I mean, just showing people different designs that, like you said, it's refreshing, right? We're in America. Our culture, those of us that are from, different parts of the world come in, we have our culture. And for me as a designer, I am who I am. I was born in Nigeria. I did get raised up in America, but um through my parents, my culture was instilled into us, and as I'm, replicating it to my daughter. So when we have a show to anywhere, could be New York or here in Tacoma or wherever, the we go back to the drawing board to look at, okay, how do I want to be represented, right? And I couldn't see myself doing it any other way than to represent my culture on a very big runway, on a stage that people all over the world come to see. And I will be remembered as such. We did get into the Getty Museum's picture archive, which is interesting and wonderful because you this will be my second time actually going to New York. And the last time we didn't get into the Getty pictures and also didn't end up on the billboard. So this was very special and dear to me. It's a big runway, um, lots of people coming from different sorts of the world. So it's really an accomplishment. It really is. It really is. And it's even more dear to show my culture because my kids now recognize that. As you saw my daughter, they do know they're not shy of their culture to show it because, as you said, sometimes we're not given that opportunity to really showcase as much as we want. So eventually those things die away, and that's how a culture can be lost. So it's very dear to my heart to bring up the youths to also embrace their culture. It's I mean, I couldn't see it any other way.
I'm a mom of a teenager. She's 17.
Mhm.
And trust me, it is it's sometimes it's not as easy, because they want to fit in. They want
Mhm.
to have this illusion of belonging, which that's
Yes.
not what it is.
Mhm.
The opposite of belonging is fitting in,
Yeah.
because you be training away yourself to fit into somebody else's standards, and how what you say, what you think, what you do, in order to accommodate a
Mhm.
group or another person in front of you. As for the sense of belonging, it is being your authentic self. It's just being you 100%.
Yes.
So it is really interesting to be able to pass those values to my own daughter. And so when you mix that with cultural identity,
Mhm.
my daughter, well, I don't know. She has her family is really, really multi-ethnic in many different ways. And
Mhm.
so she's multiracial in ways. And so for her to okay, what I am, who I am is such
Mhm.
a basic question. But what I'm telling her is it's not about removing or giving up a part of you, it's about adding it to it.
Yes.
You keep adding more to what makes you all the influences. And so it's so good to see that you're passionate about not only your work but as mom, then as a woman, and passing those values in many different ways.
Yes.
Going back to your actual work on your clothes, how many designs you think you got up to this point?
Since I started since 2012, oh my God, I could not put a number. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Yes, from ever since I started doing this on my own. Yes, it's been a lot. We're talking about making clothes for clients, we make in a month we make close to at least 23 pieces a month for
Hmm.
clients. Fashion shows, we most that I the biggest line I've ever done for a fashion show will probably be 16 looks. We call that 16 looks, so 16 pieces of clothes. This time around in this New York, it was 7 pieces that I showed. Um, uh, the upcoming ones will be 12. There's an upcoming show in Tacoma at Cars and the Car Museum, Cars and Couture. So we're looking forward to that. That'll be about 12 pieces we'll show. Um,
Nice.
yeah, it's a lot. We stay busy.
Yeah, it seems like you are dividing your work in two sections. One is
Yes.
creating your lines in the shows, and then your daily creation. So there's like two distinctive
Yes, two
phases
different.
of your work.
And of course, ready to wear too, which kind of works with the fashion shows. So that's like clothes that are already made. You come in, you try it on, it fits, you buy it.
Nice,
Mhm,
nice. Yeah,
mhm.
when I was looking at some of your clothes, it's like I, yeah, my sense of fashion is not that good. But when I was looking at that, like, oh, I wish I can just to try it. I was curious, like, oh, I wish I can just try that, and just like you said, had the sense of building that confidence. I think I am confident. It's just that my brain is in a different places. It's more about like surviving in front of me, but
Yeah,
having that time to actually, let's have fun with this. And then
yeah,
just empower your soul into how you presenting yourself, and bring that joy. And that's why I love the name of
yes.
your work, joy. And one thing I have not done since we started this, or since you share about your accomplishments. Congratulations. This is awesome. This is just
Thank you so much.
congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
like you
Yeah.
said, this is the one of the high ends in your career. I hope that it continues to be more of those memory experiences. But you're right. I mean,
Yes,
uh,
yeah.
climbing mountains, like, okay, what is the highest you can go? And that's the one. Going
Yes.
to New York. And it is awesome. It is awesome that we are able to capture this interview just a month after you experience that.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so when it comes to this, your designs, do you think that when you use a term of accommodating to this cultural society, are you referring to Pacific Northwest or just general American? I mean, not, I mean, are you referring to like Seattle based tendencies, or are you more of a bigger picture as in America?
Well, I'm glad we come back to this we came back to this question. Um, I'm referring to Seattle metropolitan. I don't want to use the whole Washington state because
Hmm.
we're more of, I use the word Seattle loosely, the yes. So I'm more particular about that because I've been to other places in America, different cities, states, and cities, and the way um, they approach fashion is different all over. You see, for what I do, the kind of fashion that I do is greatly appreciated, say maybe in um, the southeast of America, because I've, had opportunity to talk to people and they go, "Oh, this piece would do great in this area of America." Now I'm more particular about where I live, which is here in Seattle, the greater Seattle, as you put it. Um, we are very laid back people here. We love our sweatpants. We like to be comfortable, which there's no issue with that. Um, I, as someone who loves color, I love color because color is has a lot of meaning. It's very spiritual. It evokes emotions, right? And my just kind of just looking at what Seattle means to me, I think Seattle with our weather. I mean, today the weather just changed, right? It's been sunny for the past 4 days. And with this weather, um, we if we use a lot of colors, right? It has its own emotional change it brings about. I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, the weather is depressing, and it could be, depending on how your emotions are, right? But I found out, that the use of color actually brightens up someone's mood, right? So here in Seattle, my goal, right, I call it a goal, is to bring in more color. So like you rightly said, you were looking at the clothes on the rack, after the fashion show, or maybe before we did the show, um with you guys in Highland Museum, you were feeling that urge of, oh, I would like to try it on, but
Mhm.
a part of you is like, I don't know if I'm daring enough. Let me put it that way. Maybe I might be, exaggerating that, but um, it's a culture here in Seattle, whether done knowingly or unknowingly, is just to blend in. You see, that blend in. I don't want to be the crayon sticking out of the box. But again, I think we've gone through a very depressing time during COVID, and our comeback, because that took a while to come back, even after COVID kind of left, is bringing out colors, right? Coming out, you dress for an occasion, you go to a party, you dress really well, makes you feel good, makes you feel confident. And I honestly do think even ways to overcome depression and some ways is also finding that joy again to want to dress up and go out rather than just being in very comfy clothes, right? Um, yes, I do understand that not everyone will find my designs to be what they want, and that's fine. That's why we, have a kind of customer, that we tailor to. But again, what I'm trying to bring out to the world or here in Seattle is just it's okay to wear bold colors. I've seen some people wear really bold colors. That's just who they are. For those that would like to, but haven't found that confidence yet, spring is here, right? Spring is here. Summer's coming soon. Let's try something new. It's always good to try something new, right? No matter what you wear, whether it's bold or as long as it looks right on you, people will always compliment. People will always compliment. There's no how they will because people like good things, right? They may not find it for themselves, but they will. Now, going back into culture, right? Of course, I've had people buy a bomber jacket from me that was made from African print. And, a white lady bought it. She just loves color. She likes the pattern on it. So most times, it's not that we're forcing a culture on someone. We're just saying celebrate our culture like we've celebrated yours. I wear a jacket, right? My culture jacket is not from my culture. It's a Western influence, right? Pants is a Western influence. I'm wearing it. You can also wear mine, you see? So that's just kind of what I'm bringing to the table here in Seattle. I feel like if I impact colors to people, beautiful patterns that just make their mood change from wearing it and feeling confident, um, then Seattle will be a place where the world will look at it and say, have you seen the way people dress in Seattle? They're like, you know, those people look like they're happy people, you know. So it will be a go. It will be amazing. It will be a life accomplishment if I can bring more colors to Seattle and the people embrace it too. I see that they're little shy about it. They do appreciate. That's what I see in Seattle. They do appreciate and see possibly as art, but we want to take it a step further to actually have people wear this. And of course, it will be amazing for me to see someone, on the street, walking on the street wearing my design. That's like another height of accomplishment, right? So it's just for the youths. I'm very passionate about youths because I'm still a youth. But I'm talking about our teenagers and early on adults. It's just as you said, it's fine to add on, right? Especially those that have come from a cultural background to embrace that culture because that's part of who you are. That's part you may be born in America, but it's part of who you are from your mother or father's side. And to embrace it is just beautiful. You add on to it, we make it special. And it's a passing on of tradition rather than the tradition just dies off. That's really sad, right? So not to go on and on and on, because when you're passionate about something you just keep talking about it,
That's that's exactly why I wanted you to be here because it's evident that you're really passionate. But also at the same time, we got 5 more minutes left of this interview, and so we got a few areas. As you were talking, I just keep having all these questions to ask you and all over the place. But I think that I'm gonna just let you be, and then anything else that you would like to share in the last 5 minutes that we got.
Well, as I've said, I'm very much appreciate this interview for me to be able to come out and speak to Seattle. Let's put it that way. Thank you for the opportunity. And I love what I do. I hope that this will, touch people's hearts to wear color. If you would like to try on my designs or are interested in having custom made clothing, I'm very much here. I am more in the north, I'm in Shoreline. My information is Collections. That's how you can get to me. Ayo Collections. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. It's Ayo Collections US on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Ayo Collections, and Ayo is spelled as AYO, and then we have Collections with a S at the back. It's been an honor being on here. I look forward to making more impacts in our Northwest. Definitely, we are. I believe we're are giving that opportunity more and more now, and we absolutely want to take advantage of that and also put ourselves out there. I believe ever since the Black Lives Matters movement, we've been given that opportunity. We're grateful for that. We want more of it. We need small business, especially those of us in the colored race, to actually have more impact on the in the society, and we look forward to it. Thank you so much, and thank you for this interview.
No, thank you for allowing us to share your voice. And there is a couple of things that I can add to what you just shared. One, there's this artist. Her name is Kelly Lyles, and then we did an interview not too long ago. And one of her emblematic things about her is the way she dresses and how bold and bright she is. And so we have a whole interview to talk about exactly what you're referring to,
Yeah.
emotions in Seattle and in the area, how, this, because of the lack of color, we should be bringing more color in. And so I think I'm going to share that interview with you. And then the other element, when we were at your fashion show here at the museum, when I was looking at those pieces, it was not because I was afraid of wearing them. It was more about, can I wear that because you're using it for a show? And so
No.
that was the hesitation. But no, I think that it is inspiring to see your designs and then to visualize myself on some of your pieces. And so, and I'm sure that happens to everyone who is
Yeah.
part of this process.
Mhm.
Um, and as for you, yes, I'm glad that you share where people can find you, where they can ask you more questions and follow you and see what else is out there and that you're creating. Just really happy and excited to have you here with us today, and it's just happy. And
Thank
I love once again the name of your project, Ajo Joy.
you.
So
Yes.
thank you. Thank
Joy.
you so much
Yes.
for that. And
Thank you.
well, I guess I will just say goodbye to everyone. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we look forward for the next interview. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Our Highline Voices, 106.5 KQWZ LP FM. We envision ourselves sitting at a round table where no one is the leader and stories are heard respectfully, regardless of gender, age, sexual orientation, disabilities, or ethnicity. Our mission is we collect, preserve, and tell the stories of the Highline region and its people. We want to extend our mission outside the walls of the museum. Our Highline Voices represents us all, honoring our past, celebrating our present, and uniting to cultivate our future. This project allows us to reach out to demographics who might be unable to visit the museum. people with disabilities, low-income families, people who don't trust museums, and more. In partnership, we are launching a locally programmed new radio station at the museum, featuring recorded and live Highline's heritage, history, culture, arts, and more. Are you interested in sharing your story? Email director@highlinemuseum.org.